Hello, I'm Jack Attridge.
And I'm Pavel Mihailovic.
We're the co-founders of Flavorworks, and we're going to have a little play through our debut game, Erica, which is now out on Steam.
Or actually, when this comes out, it will be out.
It will be out on Steam.
I think we're going to put this out a couple of days before, and we're probably not going to play through the game sequentially, because we don't want to give too many story spoilers away, but we're still going to go through some really cool bits, some stories that we have from the making of it, and also just some really cool kind of details about how we're using video in really cool ways that you might not notice as you're playing through.
I've heard that scream so many times.
Yeah.
I wake up to that scream. Am I recording audio? Yes, I am. Okay. Who's driving it? Should we just take turns?
Yeah, we can take turns. I can't remember when in the shoot this stuff got filmed.
When?
When? It was late on, right?
Well, yeah, I guess you can never really know. I mean, the chronology of when we're shooting this is just all over the place, so you never really know what scene's what. This is our money shot, being able to wipe away the condensation like magic. Hello. Never seen that in FMV.
And then one of these choices is seamless. Do you remember which one?
Two of them are seamless.
Two of them are seamless, yes.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
See?
And we're going to leave it as an exercise to the reader to figure out how we made two of the choices seamless. But these really are the sorts of details that we spent so long obsessing about. And I think it gives this undercurrent.
Someone thought that was a Death Stranding Easter egg, the black hands.
We made this so much before Death Stranding, didn't we?
Yeah.
And yet it was.
So this is cool. We don't discriminate on how your mind works. You can go left or right if you wanted to open this peephole.
Yeah.
It's not like you can only go one way.
And if we spent so long on the actual kind of peephole optics, and I think this is the best peephole in all of video games.
The best peephole in all of video games.
You saw that. You saw how it's correctly deformed, and
yeah,
we gave you two goes at it because it was so good. We're not just going to do it once. So nice we did it twice.
So this is, I guess, what we call that UI is an improvement over previous versions. You're getting the best stuff on Steam. The whole ethos of Flavorworks is rather than films, which are show don't tell, this is about play don't say. So if we can put an action on a tactile choice like here, we decide to unlock the door.
And I love how this one just pulls focus to where the latch actually is.
Yeah. That's be nice.
Yeah, it's harder to be mean when you've met the actors.
Yeah.
Then you're they're actually cool people. Even every single character, no matter who they're playing, as a person, they're all super nice.
Yeah, it's strange. I guess Holly particularly, Holly L, who plays Erica. We've just known her as a good friend for so long now. When I look at Erica here, I don't think of Holly, but when I look at Holly, I don't think of Erica. They are very different people. That's a testament to good acting.
I forget who drew the notebook. It was the graphic designer on set, right?
Yeah, it was
did a great job. Holly Earl, also an artist.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't ask her to draw some stuff. I think we didn't know.
We didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
She didn't have her Instagram account for doing art.
Yeah, check out Holly Earl Art. That's I think that's it. But here, you're the artist. And this one's a really interesting one because you can actually scribble back and forth. The mouse is really natural. We ended up, once we kind of put the mouse controls in and we gave it a go, we're oh, this actually feels just great as is. It was very odd. I guess it is just a very natural kind of extension of the finger, a very natural extension of just this is what I want to do. And so shout outs to the people at Xerox who invented the mouse.
Yeah. So does this have the fidelity that I see? I'm just going to gently lift this box up. If I let go of it, I love that it just bounces like that, if I just click it down, it doesn't just feel like it hits a brick wall, This is the kind of game feel. So little attention to detail that I'm a big fan of. And then
And part of the reason why we're doing this video, because in playtests we never see people like pull it down to see it bounce. So now we want to show people the amount of like detail that we put into the bits that people don't see.
Yeah.
What is the story about painting the other side of the fence? We painted a lot of backs of fences on this one.
Yeah.
The lead investigator in this case.
Shout out to George Kellyan in the background of this shot.
Oh, George.
We used to work with him. He's at CCP. We used to work with him at 22 Cans. Came up to be a background police officer. Rip.
Are we going to give him the book or are we going to rip out the... Let's rip out the page.
Oops.
Yeah.
Slipped off the mouse, man.
See, now he doesn't like us as much. And, spoiler alert, they won't... He's now less likely to... have I'm not going to say anything.
He's less likely to. And
He's less likely to.
There's a certain achievement that is slightly harder to get now.
Did we actually do an achievement for that?
I can't remember actually.
We
got
found
a
a
lot of
lot of
achievements.
people really dig the achievements in Erica and will play through the game 7 or 8 times in order to get them all, basically. That's the cool thing. We filmed hundreds and hundreds of minutes of drama and interactions, and so the gist of that is it's very replayable, you know. And there's I think 5 or 6 different endings. I just keep seeing George. George stood there in the background, out of focus for an entire day, and he was pumped.
He's a star.
He's a star. He's the real star.
But yeah, no, it is. I at some point I try to calculate how many playthroughs, if you planned it perfectly, would you need to do in order to see like every single kind of like piece of content in the game, and I didn't actually manage to calculate it. Honestly, it's actually pretty difficult because I guess at that point you're trying to calculate like what's the widest part of the game, and there are bits of the game that are like super wide where you can like go through like one of like at least like 11, 12 options. Of course, if you start counting like how many combinations of playthroughs there are, you're easily past the number of like atoms in the universe and stuff. But I always thought those statistics were a little bit misleading, so we never actually put in anything like that.
Yeah.
'Cause it doesn't take that many choices for something to be like explode combinatorially. So
It's our dad in the past.
this shot works super well considering it was essentially, I believe that because we had to shoot one in the day and one in the night and really try and kind of like match them.
Yeah,
and I think it was mostly just kind of someone with the Steadicam.
Yeah,
I don't think we used the dolly.
I think
Or was it a dolly thing?
I think it was a dolly, but
It matched
I think
super well.
I think the magic was that we didn't like do a mix and overlay, or it wasn't very. I mean, we just didn't have the scope to like spend a lot of time trying to get them identical. So I think we were quite happy here. So
Should we do it once or multiple times?
I think we should.
I'm gonna do it multiple times.
Okay.
Ring, 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 and then he stops you. If you don't do it, he won't stop you.
We should go back and see what happens if you don't do it.
You know what? We would have it actually delete our save because that variable is actually stored now.
Oh man.
Yeah, because it'll count it using variables.
When you play, try not to ring the bell excessively, and then like might be more likely to. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because that also like affects.
Yeah, everything you do is being listened to. So these character relationships grow over time.
Look at the bok in the background.
Very tasty. What's this incredible stitch pan technology to look around the view? Also, Pavle, you did an obsessive thing with this. Depending which way you're looking at the end of this sequence will determine.
All right, I'm gonna look to the right,
Okay, look to the right.
and then she's looking to the right.
She's looking to the right.
If I'd been looking to the left, she would have been looking to the
That's
left.
continuity, man.
No stone unturned. The kind of stuff you put in just so you can talk about it later, because people might not be able to notice. But still, this shot is incredibly complex now, because she's looping and you're panning around and you're doing depth of field as well. And then once you turn, she will turn her head as well to look at like where you're looking. And then phone?
Let's
or
go with
hallway?
phone. Let's do the phone.
Erica Mason, I've waited a long time to speak to you. Did you like
Who are we talking to?
Who is this?
We have been talking over people, but we can play the game by
That's
ourselves to
good.
actually listen.
Yeah.
This is our anti-spoiler mask. It's just us blabbering over important dialogue.
It's the best way to do it.
Find Elodie Carter. See what he did to her. See him for who he really was.
Should we go into Steinbeck's office?
Yeah. Lots to do in Steinbeck's office.
Elodie Carter.
It's a room full of toys.
For yourself.
How old is that phone?
It's pretty.
I guess that's not even. I never even considered that, but that's not like a full kind of.
I think initially
old-fashioned
I was just like after a rotary phone, and they gave us something more fabulous. Let's go left. And now, as we follow the music into Steinbeck's office, what do we find? So, speaking of obsessive details, no one ever found the fact that in this room, let's go over to the.
Should I turn off the radio?
Let's keep the music going for a while whilst we go to the desk. So on the radio, the composer of this game, Austin Wintory, multi-award-winning composer of the multi-award-winning musical score for Erica.
That was a very subtle flex.
I'm not subtle at all. He one of his most revered music scores is for the game Journey by that game company. And if you listen to the music in this scene, you will hear a lounge jazzy version of the main theme from Journey. We had to get very specific legal permissions from Sony in order to put that in the game. No one's noticed, which I guess was kind of the point. But we're happy that it's in there, and so is Austin, because he had a nice little time sort of recomposing this score he's loved for.
This scene always reminds me of Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I think it probably was Nick from the Big Lebowski.
LR01501.
The typewriter. So these details we're going through here, then they're very optional. They're off a beaten path, and they're little details if you want to stop to smell the flowers and look at them, but they're not paramount for you moving forward. So you kind of get out of the story what you put into it.
And this scene in particular really reminds me of kind of the immersive theater stuff. So this scene really reminds me of Drowned Man type stuff, where you can like look at this letter and you can spend like as much time as you want kind of reading it, because it's very kind of subjective amount of time.
Yeah, we were basically started Flavorworks after going to a punch drunk show in London called the Drowned Man. They have Sleep No More in New York and Shanghai. If you ever see one of their shows coming back once the pandemic is eased, then would thoroughly recommend it.
Right, should I turn off the radio?
Let's turn off the radio.
No more music.
The thing is, we turn off the radio, now we'll be able to hear potential threats coming. Whereas if you left the radio on, you wouldn't hear those threats coming. So something that's as innocent as that, we're just trying to add detail to, I guess, a genre, which is F&V, which would typically be quite
regimented and perhaps like less granular. You'd make like choices, but we're trying to listen to like the quiet things. I think we did a good job at it. We made a game.
There was a file just before this file that was my name that someone put in, and I didn't like it because I thought it would look like I asked for it, so I took it out.
Vance Gert was the medic on set.
He was medic on the thing we just...
Yeah.
Something we just shot.
Vance Gert put a lot of Q-tips in my nose for the testing, so
yeah.
Shout out Vance Gert.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Elodie Erica Mason. Signed by Akal Jahar. committed by Peter Mason, our father.
Spouse.
We didn't show the opening couple of scenes to the game because we wanted you to experience them for yourself. But okay, so now we've heard someone coming.
Should I leave? Should I get caught?
Let's get caught so we can get caught by the chap that shot Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan.
And then had to dig his own grave. But yeah, I think I'm getting some body under.
Oh, don't.
No, that's
So, Erica only speaks if you choose for her to speak. So you could go through the entire game not saying anything. Here's an example of that. We didn't make a choice. Seamlessly carries on. And, people will listen to that, So the fact that you kind of left Dr. Ballard hanging there.
I'm surprised no one's kind of done a full silence playthrough on although now that I've said it, someone might, but it is interesting that you can have essentially this high drama, very thrilling experience where the protagonist doesn't actually say anything. And that's testament to our incredible writers and designers. Shout out Connor and Faye.
I do like the music here. This music, by the way. Austin Wintory's
Is the
album.
inner cover of the vinyl the same?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait, yeah. One of these is.
This is the same thing that he's
Oh, yeah.
holding?
Yeah, check out this. And now wait for this to come up.
Well, I think he's already taken it out.
No, she hasn't taken it out.
Oh!
Whoops.
Bro, what are we doing? It's a disaster.
Here we go. Well. Yeah, you keep holding it. And,
Alright, listen, I feel like I'm at CVS selling stuff. Those TV sales programs. But it is a really cool vinyl.
seamlessness.
And I love the soundtrack. And the soundtrack went through so many wild changes. It was weird. I think that's just how Austin works. We'll have a lot of variations and stuff, and just give people a lot of options, and then he just nailed it.
Yeah, I worried Austin hated me after a while because I think he said it was the most difficult score he ever made, but we reject all these other vinyl albums here, all the rejected scores, and this is the one we ended up with. Aria Fidelfi by Austin Wintory. See? And we'll do it in real life together.
Jesus Christ, you almost hurt yourself.
That didn't go as well, so I hope.
Listen, that's things happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what surprised me about film sets? How dusty everything is, because they make it dusty. They have specific movie dust that they put on things, because if things aren't dusty, they don't look real or in the world. So they keep adding dust to stuff, and they don't want people to touch the dust because that would disturb it, leave a lot of weird fingerprints. So everything was just always dusty and smoky, and that's kind of what makes everything look, proper. Young Erica.
Actually, that way we engraved the name Erica there, that's the font we used for the t-shirts that we gave to the crew when we wrapped. Okay, now this cameo is very weird because this is your body, my voice.
Look at the longness of that body and just the deepness of the voice. This is one of the greatest appearances.
We were doing the ADR at Shepperton, I think, and there was just no one to do the voice, so I jumped in the booth, and I hate it, but hopefully it doesn't break your immersion.
I think the people got the best of both worlds. This is me from the back and your voice. This is what this company is about.
Jack and Pave, it's Javle.
Can I have one? No.
I wish we had a 1 in 1,000 where Chelsea actually gives you the cigarette.
When we were casting Chelsea, who plays Toby, Chelsea Edge, it was a day where everyone had these really nice names, and Chelsea auditioned for Toby and Erica, but she really loved Toby, so she was really delighted when we cast her as Toby, and Holly just also stood out as a perfect Erica. And Sasha Frost, she's been in The Dark Materials recently, the BBC retelling of Northern Lights.
Love those books.
She's lovely.
All right.
Okay,
Do you want to do the solo?
so what can I play here? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we can do any tunes without getting some sort of strike takedown.
Yeah, we might actually get demonetized. So yeah, this is a thing that's new. You can play whatever notes you want, and we spent a lot of time making sure that you could play like whatever you wanted on this piano using like a live action piano, which has to be a world first.
It's insane how complicated it is to do a piano with just video.
Yeah, because you have to like film every key, and then you need to make sure that like all the videos like play at the right time, and it's a lot of videos to be like playing, or even if you're doing it in a different way, which we might be. A magician never
Tell you
reveals the
what,
secrets.
This is where we should jump forward to another scene.
All right, no spoilers.
Just as it gets interesting.
And we're back. Things have happened, and meanwhile, stories have progressed.
Yep.
Was that an ASMR yep that you just gave him? Just really lean in. We're here to play Erica.
Last time we met, you could barely see over the desk.
Terrence Maynard. You might know him from The Witcher.
Yeah.
It's completely painless. Perfectly safe.
Let's agree to some hypnosis.
How do I do it?
It is really hard, because that hypnosis scene is awesome, and the instinct is to say like, alright, this scene is awesome, so everyone's gonna have to see it. But it would be weird if we made every player go through this path, because it is something that a reasonable player could disagree with, or they could agree with, so...
I think that's the challenge with
Everyone comes into your head.
interactive narratives is
Lou?
Okay.
there's always a temptation to
If you remember anything important,
show everyone everything,
write it down.
to take away control from a player.
Difficult, but you're
But, you know, it's also nice to feel like you've discovered something.
Yeah. In a way, I guess it's a little bit like editing a film, because when you're editing a film, you have these like cool sequences that never make it. One of our VFX people was talking about how he spent like a year working on a shark for like a big budget film, and then that whole scene got cut. And you know, in a way, it's a little bit like that, but you let the player kind of cut bits of the game out because they don't see them.
Cut.
Oh, you chose cut because I said cut. This is Darren Brown stuff.
Stop.
We spent so long on the projector stuff. This isn't VFX, we actually filmed the projector with these images. Yeah, it's hard to actually, like, you can still get, like, lost in the story of the game when you're playing it, even after having played this game. I mean, maybe at this point for...
This is the first
300
interaction
hours.
we shot.
This place is a whole
And it looks really nice. It's an odd one, right? Because it's one of the only interactions in the game where you don't kind of have a different state that you finish at than you start at. It is essentially just kind of fiddling while you wait because you're nervous. So it is really cool. But it's a very interesting one. This garden was weird.
suggested that I show you this.
There were bugs and we were afraid there were going to be snakes.
If you ever go to this garden in real life, you will find a couple of Zippos hidden in bushes that we threw and then could never find again.
Oh, we got people coming into
Guess
the
that's
office.
the end of our stream.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Doesn't have
You're
to
on
be an issue.
Flavorworks TV.
We're filming like Erica, like playing through Erica for like a stream that I think is
We
going to be
were.
on YouTube.
you were.
Why cut here? This is the realities of game development. There are offices and people come into the office.
We busted it.
It's Joe and Megan.
Hey! Hi gamers!
Hey, Joe and Megan.
Joe and Megan need food to live, so bye, Erica.
Please buy Erica.
Low blow.
We love you. Please buy Erica.
Low blow. But do buy Erica. It's important. I really like this interaction as well. and I was worried for a while about it. But like this is really complicated because you got the foreground actual like snipping of the flower, then we transition to like the focus pull into the background, and now we seamlessly transition into wiping the dust off of the board. And I mean, this is, you know, this is the high level stuff. Who should we pick?
Oh, interesting.
Your father had the Oleander plans to give me money.
Toby?
They were
Yeah, maybe.
always brought us love.
Although, depends. I mean, Toby's good to go with if you feel like conspiracy. Kirsty's worth going with if you, I don't know, want to see a more innocent perspective. And then Hannah is do you know what? They're all good. They're all good, and they all have different flavors and different perspectives. So this choice basically means you end up spending a huge amount of the game hanging out with one of 3 characters, and that very much changes your perspective on the events of the story.
You know, I like Toby tech-wise because of the special effect that we have when you're drinking. Should I do that? Which one should I pick? Should I pick quickly?
Well, let's leave it to you to decide. Do you know what? I think we should not drink, because I think we would be sending a bad message about peer pressure and alcohol.
No, but I want to show the special effect. So sometimes in Erica, we don't just like play video.
Refuse.
No, I want to show we worked hard on this special effect. Listen, it's all about the tech. That's what really matters. That's what the people want.
Okay.
You think they're doing something like that?
Oh, it's starting.
The special
We're starting to
effect.
see it. Subtle.
Because we can adjust dynamically the strength of it.
Yeah, I think it's actually rising incrementally from
Yeah.
the moment you start drinking, right? So it's a completely dynamic effect.
You know, and this was all Alex Dixon. So
There's another one, whenever there's like a flame going on, we have this like real-time flicker effect going on.
see that?
Made his money
What?
The effect.
Yeah.
trading YouTube.
It's subtle as well. Proud of this. It's a cool shot. And we're back.
We're back.
Much later on in the game. Maybe we cut out some debug menus. Maybe we didn't.
Just
But
try not to make a mess.
we have to support the IMGUI project as well.
So that's,
You know who you are.
so this is an opportunity of being able to look around your immediate environment. So this is kind of like a branch within a branch within a branch, and then when you're in this car, you know, you can look around. There's a few different things you can find in here, but right down here, we just wanted to have fun with a little radio. So I think we've built like 17 radio stations into this. I have to listen closely though.
Hold on. I'm not.
Yeah, turn it up.
Which one are you looking for?
Just whatever tickles my fancy. This is a synthwave artist called Nina.
And we might not be able to stream this if we play too much of it.
Oh.
So you know who that is. But we gave it like a couple of seconds and we move on.
There's
But
17
thank you,
radio
Nina.
stations in there or something like that. It's insane. And these are little details no one finds. And
Do you have a song you recorded on there?
Not in the end, no. I
Not
felt a
in the
bit too
end.
self-conscious about it.
We could have had greatness.
Anyway, this has been a bit of Erica. Really hope you pick it up, play it, let us know what you think, and find lots of little discoveries for yourself. Just one more for the road.
Yeah, if you're watching this before May 25th, the game's going to come out on May 25th. You're going to have a bit of a launch discount. But yeah, it's awesome on PC. It's a really cool experience. It's a lovely little game. It's not too long, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.